They've already added in Pedro Lima, and now Wolves are looking to bring in another Brazilian in the name of André. So it looks like Wolves are looking to strengthen their midfield and bringing in André, and it looks like they're going to be looking for a more ball-dominant player. It looks like the 23-year-old from Fluminense is heading to Wolves, so I'm going to be doing a breakdown of his strengths, weaknesses, and what Wolves fans can expect. Just very quickly, my name's Antonio Mango, and I do scout reviews on all the best upcoming talents. So today we're going to be focusing on André. So if you're new here or if you're returning, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on another episode. So where did it all begin with André? Well, he was born on the 16th of July 2001, which makes him 23 at the moment. He was born in Brazil and joined Fluminense's academy in 2013 before impressively progressing through the ranks and becoming a mainstay in their first team. Now, before we get into his playing style, it's important to understand what style Fluminense played, and they were more of a fluid but high possession-based team. And André became the absolute catalyst and the heartbeat of everything they'd done. As you can see from his heat map, he absolutely thrives and dominates the middle of the pitch. And due to his incredible, well-rounded and balanced profile, he's able to perform anywhere in the middle of the park, whether that be a lone single pivot or inside a double pivot. At Fluminense, he was most commonly used on the right side of a double pivot. André was slightly deeper than his midfield partner. He was tasked with being the heartbeat of the team, his passing connections, and his ability to dictate the tempo of the game is simply outstanding. A lot of people consider André as a deep line playmaker, but he's far more complex than that. He looks to get on the ball, dictate the tempo of the game, and be extremely progressive. The bedrock of any midfielder, especially somebody that wants to dictate the rhythm of the game, is understanding and awareness. If you take time to watch André roam the midfield, you'll understand how clever he is at finding pockets of space or little gaps just in between the opposition structure to get on the ball. This is all done through one major aspect: scanning. He's a player that constantly makes calculations in his head. He's a player that wants to understand and see the bigger picture. This allows him to get on the ball and choose the options that mitigate risks but complement high reward. But it also allows possession to be maintained, allowed him to be progressive in his play, and also deliver balls into dangerous and more creative players that are ahead of him. Through exceptional awareness and consistent scanning, André is always offering solutions for the man in possession. Whether that be receiving from centre-backs, full-backs, or other midfielders, he combines excellent first touch with intelligence to receive with his back to goal. He's consistently on the move, and he looks to move across each third, both maintaining the intensity of the game and the momentum of the attacks. He's exceptional at finding and making the most of space. He's capable of spotting space to move into and makes quick and clever movements to receive the ball. He's agile and quick enough to move at high speeds. So André typically makes movements towards the ball to help facilitate in the build-up phase. Also occasionally look to withdraw into the defence to create overloads. This allows the centre-backs to withdraw wider. André is right-footed, but he's technically excellent on both feet. He can receive on either foot comfortably and in tight situations. André has excellent ability to progress forward with line-breaking passes. Because of his consistent scanning, his ability to analyse his teammates' movements is exceptional. He also has the technical qualities to execute brilliant passes. I do want to illustrate that André is not a playmaker or creative force for his team. He has a high amount of passes with a high success rate, but it's more focused on maintaining and progressing the play slowly through the thirds. So when he receives under pressure, he plays with a little more caution than he would in open spaces. But he also has the intelligence to turn on the ball, invite pressure, that also creates more adventurous space ahead of him. The beauty about how André dictates plays, when he's receiving in tight spaces, he positions his chest in the direction that allows him to see much of the pitch. When you combine that with the scanning he does before he receives the ball, this makes him extremely aware of what's happening around him. This allows him to make calculated decisions in his next action. This also contributes his impressive ability to evade any pressure and take his touch away from an approaching opponent. Now, I said earlier, when under pressure, he tends to play the safer option, but his game's not all about that, and we've seen a massive improvement on his forward-thinking mentality with experience. So what I'm saying is André shows great maturity on the ball. He knows exactly when just to recycle possession and maintain possession, or when to break through the lines and see the bigger picture. He's able to do all this because technically he's outstanding and he's able to manipulate the ball in remarkable ways. He's happy to receive the ball at feet at any situation, and his incredible vision, awareness and passing ability get him out of trouble. Now, one thing he has added to his game is his skill set to play forwards at every opportunity. Because his teammates trust him so comfortably in possession, they're able to express themselves more and being more adventurous in the movements. Now, once he gets on the ball, he looks to break lines with passes either in the half spaces or into a forward's feet. As you can see from his statistics, he ranks highly in short passes completion, medium passes completion, and long passes completion. Now, where he doesn't rank highly, and I touched upon this earlier, is those key passes in the penalty area. So he's not one that's going to be an absolute creative force in the final third. He is extremely progressive in his passes, so it's more from a deeper position. Now, André's game is all about combinations plays. It's all about passing and moving, getting into space, receiving the ball to operate and maneuver around opponents. This will ultimately give Wolves more game possession. Now, the fact that he ranks extremely highly for touches per 90 and passes per 90 just goes to show how much he plays with a high intensity. Everything's done on the first and second touch. This allows him to operate anywhere in midfield at ease. So it's no surprise that most of his touches, actually the majority of his touches, come in the defensive third and the middle third especially. He controls and dictates the middle of the park. He has this brilliant ability just to shift his body weight to drift past an opponent or to create a yard of space where he can play a pass. When he's receiving, he's using momentum of the opponent that's approaching him to his own advantage, quickly jinx him from one side to another before pushing the ball into the space he's just created. This allows him to open up various different passing options. And then from there on, he's able to play low driven passes to break lines or clip passes over the top of the defense. The weight and precision of these passes that he plays are very consistent and precise. Is he a fine mover on the ball? Well, although André is tasked with moving the ball high up the pitch through passing, due to his size and his shiftiness, most underrated but best qualities is his dribbling. Because of his two-footedness, he's extremely composed and comfortable on the ball, and this allows him to manipulate the press. He can go either way and beat opponents in one-on-ones, without the press or simply progressive play in a different way. He's surprisingly crafty and nimble in possession. As you can see, he ranks extremely highly for total carrying distance and progressive carrying distance. And he also above the 50% mark for successful take-ons. That just goes to show how well-rounded André is in possession. He's an excellent ball carrier. And with his excellent decision-making, he's able to use his dribbling to complement his passing, and his passing to complement his dribbling. His control is excellent, and he can use that to manipulate and get out of tight spaces. The most impressive aspect of André on the ball is how comfortable he is in various different locations on the pitch. He's extremely press resistant, and this will just help Wolves in the initial build-up phase. And then from there, he can showcase his natural ability on the ball. Balance and coordination allow him to maneuver in the smaller spaces, but when space is afforded to him, he won't hesitate to progress the ball through it. So in possession, André very rarely surrenders a ball. He's got good physical attributes that allow him to shield the ball well in tight spaces, but he's also mature and decisive enough to make smart decisions. What do you like defensively? Well, I wouldn't say he's a Joao Gomez, but he's quite adequate in defending. Fluminense was a team that dominated possession, so naturally his defensive numbers will be quite low. Fluminense are an aggressive, high-pressing team, and André has an important role in that. As a deep-line playmaker, he's tasked with providing cover and essentially guarding his midfield. And he does this with extreme intensity and aggression. When defending, he's dynamic when closing opponents down and has a good eye for danger. He generally has good sense of when to press his direct opponent, or when to move to another opponent, or when to hold his position. And he also does not shy away from physical battles. He makes a lot of tackles and fouls to break up play before quickly distributing the ball to a teammate and launch counterattacks. Off the ball, acceleration is one of his biggest strengths, and this allows him to close the space between him and the man with the ball. And when he does it with an extreme intensity. André is a type of player that has a high game intelligence, and this allows him to make many interceptions or crucial blocks. As you can see, he ranks highly for blocks and interceptions per game. It's due to his high intensity, cover space and intercept the ball, but it's also due to his maturity. So when he's not tackling, his laser eye focus on the ball becomes a major asset for jumping passing lanes. He possesses remarkable sense on how to manage these situations, reading the passer's intentions while also keeping track of nearby options. He plays the game exceptionally well, and this just adds to his intelligence and his defensive capabilities of becoming a wonderful anchorman. Also makes him ideal for quick transitions and counterattacks. Areas is he going to have to improve on when he comes into the Premier League? Well, I would say aerially, he's great physically in ground duels, but aerial duels he does lack. And as I touched upon earlier, you're not going to get much of him from a creative point of view. As I touched upon earlier, you're not going to get much of him in the final third. Now, this could be down to Fluminense's tactics, and Wolves could use him in a different kind of way. But because of his on-ball qualities and his vision, surely he would have the capabilities to unlock defenses. So Wolves might actually use him in a different kind of way. Now, another aspect is in defending, he needs to be more calculated. He'll give away needless free kicks, and he racks up a lot of yellow cards. During the 2022 season, he finished with 18 yellow cards. In the 2023 season, he finished with 11 yellow cards. That's the most out of any other Fluminense player. But other than that, I think Wolves are getting a tremendous player. A player that they're crying out for. Somebody that can dictate the rhythm of the game. Someone that can give them a lot more possession, but also calmness in chaos moments. I'm actually surprised it's taken up until he's 23 to move to the Premier League, because I thought it was going to happen a lot sooner than now, because his ability, his intelligence, his aggression, his physicality, although he's small, he's quite small, he only stands at 5'9". He's got a nice muscular build. It's well suited to the Premier League. I can't wait to see him in action for Wolves. So that's the end of the episode, guys. If you have enjoyed this, please don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on another episode. Once again, I just want to say thank you very much for your time.